So in that moment, I could see how the exact words formed a city. Like if it's tall building, there is a tall building there. Hivyo. So I didn't think about it much because, of course, it's been preached to us that words have power. Uh, the words you make you, you know. So, but it's strange, and I think dreams come to teach and to affirm. And then it's a synchronicity that tunaongea hii story ya the power of words. So, and even you, Salim Kumbuka, when I came to Mombasa, you said something so profound. You saying, "Ha, mi hata siongei tena because there's something I've discovered about words." Unakumbuka hiyo siku Salim?
Yeah, I remember. I remember very well because actually, what I can say is that what we call as words, they come from word. The Holy Work says that in the beginning, the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And that Word manifested into flesh, and it came to dwell among us. So people fail to understand that that which was with God and that which was God, then it manifested in flesh and dwelt among us. It was the Christ. And again, we fail to understand that which was with God, which was God, manifested into flesh and dwelt among us, is the Spirit of God, which is the Christ, which was the Word. Your Word is Spirit, and it is the one which was with God. It is the one which was with God. Because this is the thing. This is the thing. Listen to what Jesus said. It is the Spirit that giveth life. The flesh profiteth nothing. And then he says this. This is what Jesus or Yeshua or whatever anyone else, or Isa or whatever anyone else is calling him, said, continued saying, the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. The word, Jesus said, the word that I speak it to you are spirit and they are life. Meaning that your word, it is the same one which was with God. Today I was talking to Sheila actually, and I was telling her that your word is your personal God. Your word is your personal Christ. Your word is your personal Christ, Spirit, is personal God. Your word. And that word is that which was with God. The reasons why words create. The reasons why words create is because they give life. Because when you are told that words, when you are told that your words can give life or bring death, it's because that word is Christ. There is one thing I like to say, and in every meeting I like to repeat this thing. Christ or Spirit sees everything as himself, sees everything as God. So your word is the personal Christ. Your word is the personal God, is the personal Spirit. And it is not biased. It is not biased. It sees everything as itself. That's why when there is a verse in the Bible, and it's in the book of Matthew, Matthew 12:36 from 36. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they will give an account thereof in the day of judgment. For by your words you shall be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned. This is how you will be justified. What words you speak forth, which gives life, words which speaks health, words which speaks peace, words which speaks joy, you get justified, because that is the exact reality you are going to experience. And this is how you shall be condemned. When you use your personal Christ, which is your word, and speak wars, and speak division and separation, and speak negativity, you get condemned by experiencing that. People do not know one thing, that when we are told that we shall be held accountable in the day of judgment, the grander truth is that there is no day of judgment. Every present moment is a moment of judgment. And it is that moment which you are going to be judged, to be condemned or justified. That moment. Sheila, can you add something there before I continue? Brother Kamau, welcome. Mugecha wa Kiunyu. I appreciate, bro. Much love. Karibu sana.
I think I'm reminded of at the very beginning, when the good book says that in the beginning there was gross darkness, and then God spoke, and as he spoke, then whatever it is that he spoke was manifested, and it became a reality. So what I have learned, or what I am learning, is that there is nothing that we are experiencing or that we will be required to do that hasn't been something that God has also experienced or has also encountered. Now, with God having to speak, I mean, it could have been that God would have said that just by him thinking, or just by him realizing that there was a need, or there was that he had the objective of creating a world that needed to have some form of calmness, that he wouldn't need to speak, but God had to speak. And that puts us at the place of understanding that if this creative force, if this God that we look unto or that we know is in existence, that is eternal, would use the power of the words that come out of his mouth or her mouth or whatever it is, but out of the mouth of God, to bring into existence that which was in his mind. Yeah. He set out with an intention to create, but he did not just leave it to the fact that he is eternal, that he has the ability to create it out of nothing. But not only did he just have that intention or that desire, but he also spoke it. He spoke it and it was. So when you move forward, you're told that you shall establish a thing, you shall decree a thing and it shall be established. And that life and death is in the power of your tongue, the words that we speak. When you say that the words that we speak, they are spirit, the words that we speak, they are life, the words that we speak, they are God's unto us, because then you realize that, yes, that which you're speaking is what will determine or declare a harvest over you or upon you. That is a function of the words that you speak. So when we also fail to not speak and to not make any decree or make any declaration or speak anything at all, then we fail in our God-given mandate. It's our God-given mandate for you to manifest, to speak. And how do you speak? That which is of God speaks like a God or acts like a God. We are an extension of who God is or what God is. We are an extension of source. We are an extension of divine intelligence. We are an extension of this supreme being, yeah, the one that is the creator of all, the creator of the universe. We are an extension, and by virtue of being an extension of who God is, then that which God has done is what we are also required to do, to speak into existence out of the darkness that surrounds us, to speak into existence that which we desire to see, to speak into existence that which we would set an intention to see being manifested or would want actualized in our lives. It won't happen until we begin to speak. Now we can be surrounded by gross darkness, we can be surrounded by chaos, we can be surrounded by things that a lot of things that don't really make sense. We can be surrounded by this seemingly a life that has no comeliness to it, no beauty, no splendor, nothing. Yet, even as it was with God, you and I can speak the world that we want. We can speak the heavens that we want. We can speak the world that we desire to see, and or the situation that we want to see. We can speak the marriage that we want to see. We can speak the spouse that we want to see. We can speak the children that we want to see. We can speak the business or the works of our hands that we desire to see. But it will come with us people following the drill, even as God did. He looked, he saw gross darkness. He sets his heart or his mind to be able to see that which he envisions. And then when he envisions, he sets an intention that now what I will do is that I will speak it into existence. And then he speaks it, and after he speaks it, it manifests. And once it manifests, he sits back and he says, and it is good. So you and I have to understand that, and I like what Dolores says, we are here, our assignment is to be able to know how to manipulate energy, how to be able to manifest, to become creative beings, to be able to use the elements that we have within us, whether it is that which we are seeing in our inner eye, that which we are comprehending in our spirit, as much as you see it in your inner eye, even if you're seeing it out of unraveling it out of the bedrock of the issues that are flowing out of your heart. These are things that are hidden. These are things that are in the gross, the deep, the those that are veiled, that are not into existence, that are not in existence. But when you speak them into being, you see it being manifested. I've seen it in my life. I mean, I've seen it where I've had many occasions where I would speak of where it is that I'm going. Where I live right now, I spoke it into existence. I declared it. I would say, I'm gonna live in Kilifi, and the place where I'm going, it's going to be this, that, the other. When I was in Nyali, and I was so fed up. I was so fed up of Nyali. Oh my God, I was feeling like Nyali needed to vomit me already and just let me go. But I began by making declarations. The same thing, not just with me moving, many other things. But many a times you will do something unless you really get into the state of being conscious and understanding the process, or how, just keenly being intentional to take note of, so that you can exercise more and more of it, we get to miss out. So my thing is that I realize today that God will not ask of us what he himself has never done. God will not put us to test over something that he never taxed himself with. So it is for us to follow the script. Life is a temple. Manifestation is a temple. There is nothing that is different. All we have to do is to plug and play. And not only just plug and play, we have to also realize that we cannot keep on sending mixed signals. We are told that you're out of the mouth. You cannot be bringing forth fresh waters and dirty waters or filthy waters out of the same cistern. It cannot be that the same vessel of bringing forth water is spewing forth filthy waters and then clean water. It can't. What does that mean? You cannot also be there speaking life and speaking death. You cannot be there speaking, those things that are on and those things that are off from the same mouth. Whichever is the one that you consistently do is what carries the day. So if you're always only speaking negative, 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 and I think also to many of us, we are eating the fruits of our mouth. We are partaking of the harvest of which we have manifested by the words that we have spoken. And the beauty about it is that change can happen with the realization that, hey, look, guess what? I am eating the fruit of the words that I've spoken. I'm partaking of the harvest that has come forth from the words that we have spoken. I put you to remembrance. I put you to task of you looking back and seeing your life and just going back down memory lane. And I know the Holy Spirit or the Spirit of God will be able to remind us or to quicken us. When you go down that path, when you're going back to where you have come from, in all sincerity, you will agree with me that your life is a function of the words that you have spoken. Whether it is positive or negative, you're actually experiencing the same in our lives. So I will just encourage us to take note of the fact that the words that we speak, they manifest. The words that we speak, they form from nothingness into something. The words that we speak, they become alive for as long as they are spoken. That's from a place of having an image, an envisioning that we are doing, and having that joy. Because if you look at what the word says, that God created, and then he saw that it was good, and then God would get excited. This divine entity would celebrate. So the two-throned approach of creativity is setting our hearts, having that inner eye to envision, to see, and then after that speaking it into existence, but not only stopping there, but also enjoying the fulfillment or the accomplishment of the same. That causes us to stay at a high state of existence. We're staying at a high level of frequency where we are excited, where, like in the word, we are told that when you speak it in the company of other people that are of the faith, you encourage people, because their faith, the sense of belief, the sense of conviction that this is possible, awakens a fire, awakens a positivity in people that also encourages them to come out and also embrace that which you're doing, that which they are required to do as and at the time that they are doing it. So the understanding that this is possible is good. The understanding that this can be done is good. The understanding that this is something that you and I can do every other day. And since it's a place that I've been in for a while. What I am basically doing is going back and taking stock of my life and saying, okay, so where have I been speaking that? Where have I been not been speaking things that are of life or light, or of progress? Where am I feeling like there's a glitch? Where am I feeling like there is a limitation in any way? And then going back, because it just takes the coming into the realization, accepting that which you are actually seeing and making peace with it, and then now coming back to say, okay, now from now and henceforth, what I'm going to speak this, so that you begin again to creatively bring forth or make that declaration according to that which you desire to see, because that is what is your portion. You are a God to yourself. You are a God in yourself. You are a God of yourself. You are a God by the words of your power. They're the words of your power. Actually, the Bible talks to us about that it is the word of your power. The words that you speak have a force. And for as long as you are flowing in the element of who you are and what you are, then it's inevitable that you will experience that which you have spoken upon your life, or my life, or our lives for that matter. So here's to living intentionally, and not just living intentionally. Here's to speaking intentionally. It's not time to be careless. I've realized that sometimes we can really be careless. We can be careless with the words that we speak. I keep on telling people, when you think about it spiritually, there are no jokes. You know the way people say, no, 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 that's just a joke. No, there's no joke in the spirit. Whatever it is that you say, it gets established. So we need to be very, very aware of what it is that we are speaking, lest we speak that which we do not want, lest we speak that which is not of us. And sometimes when we are with the groups, when we are with these people that we work with, or those people that we are familiar with, or those people that are close to us, or those people that we don't know, we can have a tendency to just speak carelessly. We speak without understanding that there's an account that we will give, and that account that we will give begins at the point of you seeing the quality of life that you're living, seeing the kind of impact or harvest you're having as a result of the words that you have spoken. So if we do not like the lives that we're living, then we need to go back to the script and really just change our confession. Because at the end of the day, as we have said before, confession actually brings possession. I used to hear that statement for so long when I started my journey of now embracing God, of moving towards God. I used to hear confession brings possession, and I used to find it so gisty. There's some things that you know, but you don't really delve deep into the spirit to really meditate and really lock in on the same. But the minute I now understood what that means, then things for me really, really have taken on a different turn, because then I've realized that there's no one else to blame by myself for the kind of life that I'm having. Asante.
Yes, thank you very much, Sheila, for that contribution. As when we started, I said that the word was with God and was God. One thing that we do not know is that we as humanity are sons and daughters of the King. And yet again, we are kings, because we are the inheritors of the kingdom of God. We are the inheritors of the kingdom of God. We are kings. We are kings. And there is a verse in the Bible, I think it's called the Ecclesiastes, I think verse 8, 3 or 4, where it says, where the word of a king is, there is power. Where the word of a king is, there is power. And people will always not know that we are kings. When you tell someone, hey, listen, you are a king, don't look down upon yourself. They think it's just a hearsay. Because in the same Bible, in the book of Revelation, there's somewhere where it clearly says that Revelation is chapter 5 somewhere, and say, and hast made us unto, hast made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign. That's what we have been made, and we shall reign on earth. Where the word of a king is, there is power. And this word is that which Christ is. Because in the beginning, in the beginning, this is how God created. He said, let there be, and there was light. And in real sense, the truth is that it was not just a word, few words that were spoken. They were what we call as the creation process, where God said, let there be light. It is said that it is a continuous roar. It is a continuous roar. It is a continuous roar. Sound is the one which holds matter together. Sound is the one which holds matter together. Number one. There is a number two. I said it is a continuous roar, like that. Let there be light. It did not stop there, that sentence. It was like roaring up to now. Immediately it stops, the whole creation collapses. And that is the grander truth of the matter. If it stops roaring, the whole existence collapses, because what holds matter into form is the sound. It is sound that holds matter, that brings matter into form, is sound. There is another guy who did an experiment, and there is a video in YouTube where he is generating different sounds, and there are grains of rice and grains of sugar. They make patterns. Patterns are made by the frequencies of sound, and that sound is that which is divine. That sound is the one which holds the whole universe, that same sound. And if there is a gift that was given to humanity, the greatest gift that was given to humanity was not the presence of Spirit of God in them. It is the gift of word. It is the gift of word. It is a direct gift, that which is the greatest from God, the word. And I told you that this word is what the Christ is. It is what Spirit of God is. It is what God is, because it was with God. And so it sees everything else as itself. As itself. Meaning that when you speak negative, that is what is going to call for. When you speak of positive things, that is what you are going to call for. By your words, you shall be justified, and by your words, you shall be condemned. You shall be condemned. So let us ask ourselves these questions. What are the words that we speak? You know, there is a time when I was telling people that those which we do in every Sunday and maybe on Fridays if they are Muslims, those prayers which we do at night when we sleep, those are not our prayers. Our prayers, our daily prayers. Immediately you wake up, you start with praying. That is your prayer. Your prayer starts immediately you wake up from bed. What you speak from morning to evening, what you think from morning to evening, what you feel from morning to evening, those are your prayers. You cannot feel west, think west, speak west, and then in the evening you start calling God from some sky, asking him to give you the east. Doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. God does not give you what you ask for. God gives you your expectations. Don't be cheated. God cannot give you, just go there with your empty words, asking God, I want this and that, while you are feeling your words which you speak about the same thing is the opposite side. He gives you the expectations. Because one thing, what you speak is always what you expect. Do you know why? Because in the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Abundance of your heart, the mouth speaketh. Meaning that your heart desires is what you speak. So, your daily prayers, when you wake up in the morning, what you speak, what you think, what you feel, those are your prayers. So what are the words that we speak? What are the words that we speak every morning we wake up? If you have kids, maybe we are one among those who have kids. When we wake up in the morning, kids are happy, you are just cursing. Oh, these kids are going to kill me. You shall surely die. I tell you, you shall surely die. These kids will kill me, they will kill you. And they're not going to stab you. Just by them being happy, it will kill you. Oh my God, this is how interesting this work is. I'd like to welcome my brother Kennedy Kamau and Dr. Bishops, Abba Bishops. Kamau, unmute and say hi to us if you have anything to add before I proceed.
Hey
Brother Kamau.
guys, hi guys.
Hi. We're good,
Hope
bro.
everything okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Again, the cycles of life have brought us here. We have created another moment, another experience, you know. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm happy to be here with you guys. And me personally, what I want to add is, yes, words and thoughts and emotions, because again, I truly believe they all go hand in hand. Your thoughts, your emotions, you express them through sound or through words. And again, In creation, you have laws of creation, that govern us, and one of those laws is communication. I mean, it would be very challenging if we didn't have a way, or the means of communication for humans is through words or through speaking. And again, that's also for a lot of animals. So it's a very powerful thing uh, to have. Again, we are able to communicate with others and with the universe. This is the only way that we are able again to create whatever it is that we need or whatever that we want. So again, words are very powerful, and like Brother Salim there is saying, most people don't realize the power behind the words, uh, and they don't realize that they are creating with whatever it is that they are saying. We have, if not of us, most of us have experienced even people cursing others via words, just saying something, and their curse holds, like it becomes a reality. So it is something that is very real. And it doesn't mean that the person who cursed or presented the curse having his special powers. It just means they were very, uh, you know, they had a lot of passion when they were speaking those words. And again, when you are passionate, when you are, uh, you know, feeling some type of way, and then you speak that out, it becomes a reality. I was thinking about a documentary that is on Netflix and also on YouTube. It's called The Secret. Suggest for anybody to watch this documentary, and it tells you about how most successful people become successful. And the way they do this is through the power of manifestation. They manifest. Again, we heard there Queen Dr. Sheila telling us she manifested where she living right now. She spoke it into being. This is one of the most powerful phenomenal, one of the most powerful things that people don't realize, that through visualization and speaking something with truly, and again, you have to truly know that this is going to happen. That's the key behind it, becoming a reality. And again, this is um, like like a switch, or like a fuse through creation. Because again, if it was just was like that, um, would come to reality, then a lot of things be in chaos. And the creator understood this, that they needed to put some type of mechanism to make sure that for it to work or for it to be real, there gotta be a setup where it is set up for it to be there with. So the setup is, if you truly believe, or if you truly know that this is gonna happen, um, and you speak it into being, it definitely will happen. And again, this documentary speaks about a lot of um, successful people and how they made uh, their success, or how they became successful, or how they manifested, or how they continuously manifest. Because again, that's why it's called a secret, because most of them keep it up as a secret. They don't really tell everybody about how they are able to come about their success. But again, it's all about manifesting it through, visualization and speaking it out. and believing and knowing that it will happen. And it definitely happened. And once it happened, they have continuously done that to keep up or to keep on being successful. So this is something very powerful. And again, a lot of people are not aware of it, of how it happens or how it unfolds, or how some people are able to do things or to manifest or to be successful while others are not. This is one of the ways that people use, or one of the techniques that people use to be successful in whatever it is that they're doing. But yeah, this is a very powerful phenomenon, and a lot of people either not aware of it or haven't really tapped into it to really put it into action. And again, if I would suggest that people start small and see if it really big, because I mean, I myself have done it. And again, sometimes we do forget, or just are not aware of what we are doing or saying, or the power behind it, and so we don't use it as often. uh, Again, I would ask people or suggest, if people can try for yourself. Again, the key behind it is to truly know that whatever it is that you're saying, or have passion or believe in whatever it is that you are saying to be true. And you can see for yourself the power behind it. But yeah, that's what I would like to add to that, brother.
Thank you, my brother Kamaura from US of A. Brother, is Brother Bishop here? Brother Bishop. Brother Bishop, are you in a position to speak? Brother Bishop, are you in a position? I think he's not. When he's ready, we'll pick up with him. Now, actually, today I was like tuning myself into this subject of words, emotions, thoughts, the whole creation thing. And I came to realize that there is one Trinity which is even stated clearly in the Bible, but we have never known of it. And this Trinity is this one. It's in the book of Mark, chapter 11, verse 23. This is what it says. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever, this is whosoever, shall say, underline the word say, put it in capital letters. Whosoever shall say to this mountain, be thou removed and be thou casted into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart. Put this sentence in capital letters. But they shall, but believeth what he says.
Okay, camera. Okay.
It comes around. These are the three trinities. Number one, say. Whosoever shall say. This is the word. The second trinity, the second of the trinity, among the trinity. Who shall not have doubt in their heart. That is through your emotions and feeling. The third one is, but believeth what he says. This is now the mind. what you think. It shall come to pass. When you combine the three things, it is the word, what you feel about that which you speak, and what you firmly know about or think about that. Dr. Bishop, thank you for unmuting. I want you
Okay.
to welcome yourself,
Okay.
and I want, first of all, I want to just wish you a blessed birthday, many, many to come. I wish you good health, joy, and happiness, and all the goodness, all the
Oh,
goodness of all
thank you
that is.
so much, Apostle. Thank you so much, Apostle. Even though somebody is owing me a video song, Dr. Sheila is owing me a birthday gift. Kamara also is owing me a birthday gift. Thank you all. It was a blast yesterday. Thank you so much, Apostle. Amen, amen, God.
People, we will pay in full, okay?
And I don't want you spiritual, please.
We shall pay. We shall owe no man nothing
You
but
take it
love.
spiritual. Angel Gabriel might tell me harvesting the spirit. Thank you so much, Apostle
Tell
Samuel.
We shall
Yeah.
owe you nothing.
tell us now, brother, my brother Bishop, please add something on this topic. Brother Bishop.
Even though I don't really, yes, sir, I don't really have much because I'm actually in a little bit public place and I'm not really in a comfortable place, but I've just been
Okay,
following and yes, I've just been following
okay.
about sound and light. Of recent, I think the spirit of God has been dealing with me about sound, light, and it's really been interesting in the sense that I, you know, I realize that the greatest limitation we have when it comes to experiencing God, usually if I'm allowed to use a Pentecostal terminology, because I don't want to use the word Christian terminology, because the truth is that Christianity has different segments, and not everybody can be termed a Christian. We have Christian mystics, the desert fathers, who actually were mystics who actually walked in the reality of these things we're talking about. So we cannot classify them as the general body of Christianity. So let me say, as a Pentecostal, one of the greatest limitations we have, usually you see somebody say, okay, my prayer life has died. I'm struggling with the sensing of God's presence, blah, blah, blah. I feel the distance of God. I realize that one of the things that actually has bedeviled us is our concept. Because you see, there's one thing about the mind. The mind has the ability to give format to everything. The mind is so unique, it's so dynamic that it can give form to things. And one of the things limiting us because of we've given form to God. You understand? But when you begin to understand that God is sacred, is God is pure light, like pure light. He's a 0 point. That 0 point of light where it's just where there is no form, there is no prejudice, is just pure God. God is light. When you begin to interact with God as light, you begin to realize that. I mean, there is no limitation. He's everywhere. And when I started understanding, like, that's when some of the things you started making sense, like everything is God. When you look at the tree, that is, He's vibrating and breathing through that tree. Even the rocks, they are vibrating and breathing that through that tree. I was telling somebody, and he said that everything we see, both the rocks, the oceans, are waves of light that has been collapsed by the observation of mind. So when mind observes light, it collapses light into forms, solid forms, gaseous forms. So everything, even we are light. You understand that? Our mind is actually observing light, and the light that is being observed is actually what is being channeled as everything we see, visible and invisible. So when I close my eyes, is this I close my eyes not with the intention to do something to feel Him. I'm not trying to get to where He is. It's just a realization that I am idiosyncratically one with Him. He's part of me. I'm part of Him. Yes, so that I close my eyes. I see Him everywhere. Even the darkness before my eyes, when I close my eyes, I see the fact that He is the darkness that my eyes see. He's when I wave my hands and I say, "Father, I bless you." omnipresent, ubiquitous reality that we call God. So I think one thing that is going to really help us, let's remove the labels we've given to God. Let's remove those limitations, those boundaries. He's boundless. You understand? He can we cannot fit him into our religious boxes. We cannot even fit him into our belief systems. Let's just allow God to be God so that we can truly enjoy him. I think that's all I just want to say basically. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Birthday boy. Thank you.
Can I say something?
Yes.
When Bishop talks about how our minds, we need to be able, I mean, all that he has said in terms of allowing God to really to remove the limitations, we realize that one of our greatest enemies are our minds, or is our mind. Now, the way our mind has been programmed, we have been living in the realm of whatever is or what is in the natural. We have taken it to be a fact. We have taken it to be a truth. We have been programmed to see that that which we see in our carnal mind is what is in existence. And one of the greatest tragedies that we have, or one of the greatest hindrances that we ever have, that will cause us not to live our lives as we should, is allowing ourselves to flow according to what the mind is, our carnal mind. Now, our carnal mind, to be carnally minded, is to have an enmity with God. When you are carnally minded, when you move in based on what it is that you're seeing in the natural, when you're moving based on what it is that you are seeing, hearing, tasting, or touching, or whatever, we limit ourselves in terms of how we are living, or the kind of experience we're going to have, not only the experience of ourselves or with other people, but most significantly with God and with the life that we're living in general. So if there's anything that we have to do, is to purpose, to allow the mind not to tame. We have to purpose to tame our minds. Now, how do we tame our minds? We have to have an understanding that, one, your mind is your greatest, is your most greatest servant, but your worst master. If your mind will control you as a master, if your mind will dictate to you that what it is that it wants you to dictate, and when I say your mind, the natural mind, the carnal mind, the conscious mind, not the subconscious, not the one that is, the one that is hidden away, that is like your operational system, as we have shared before. Unless you allow yourself to walk aligned and in tune with your subconscious or with your spiritual mind, then moving and flowing with a natural mind will limit you. So unless we learn how to tame our mind, our mind is like a monkey. It's untenable unless you become very, very disciplined in dealing with the same, or in working on the same. Then we will always be on the precipice of never really getting to experience a breakthrough in our lives. And I know for us as believers, or as people of the kingdom, we are told that as we think, so are we. And it's there in the word, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. It's just as simple as that, that we are a slave to the power of our thoughts, or to the influence of our thoughts. And if it only would allow, then the subconscious, or the spirit mind that conceives, that receives from God, that is able to flow in the leading of the Spirit of God, then when our carnal mind flows in tune with what it is that the spirit mind, or the subconscious is connected with, or being able, or is able to grasp, that is when that we are able to transform and transcend those limitations that our carnal mind has seen. Because what we see in the physical is not what it is that is in the spiritual. You can be seeing drought or limitation, but by the power of your word, or by the power of your tongue, there's abundance that is at your disposal. So if we'll only limit ourselves to that which we're seeing on the physical, then we will disqualify ourselves from seeing that we need to see in the spiritual. So knowing that we have to deal with our minds, being intentional with dealing with our minds. And that's why when I hear us being, the way sometimes when you're at the place where you, what do I say, when you are meditating, because you're told, no, 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 you can't meditate. When you leave your mind open, demonic entities will come. Then we also now lose some of the things that will cause us not to exercise control over our carnal mind, and therefore just being led astray, like a sheep that is led astray. We are led astray by the thoughts that will run randomly and crazily in our minds, without any hold, without any hindrances, without any what is it called, resistance from our end. So understanding that we have to deal with our minds to be able to grasp or to enter into the fullness, and not even enter into the fullness, but enter into the journey of experiencing the fullness of God, which is relative at any one stage or one moment in life. That's the time that we can now transform to be that which God has created us to be, or even begin to grasp that which is in store for us. Because then the word says that what no eye has seen, no ear has heard the goodness that God has in store for us. Or when you hear that the treasures that are hidden in secret places that we know not of, we cannot be able to experience those things in our lives unless we overcome and we break hold of the carnal mind on us. Then we can flourish and thrive according to the leading of the Spirit and according to the work of our spirit mind to wake us up into the level that we're supposed to go into.
Thank you. Actually, one thing which I have realized that even humanity is being attacked. It's just the attack which is upon humanity. The war which is fought to humanity is through the mind. Is through the mind. And because we are stuck to the physicality, we are shown things outside. That this is this, and it is this, it becomes that. This is how this is the weapon which is being used. Our minds, we are being programmed. We are being programmed. First of all, we are being programmed to believe otherwise. We are being programmed to what it is not. We are being programmed that everything is outside of us. It is the mind that which is attacked. That's why Paul says, you can never, by the way, Sheila said something, if you are not open-minded, you have a closed mind, you become like a monkey. Number one. Why? Because a monkey, that to that level which the mind is, this is what goes on in the mind of the monkey, that it is okay, there's no need even to wear pants. It cannot think beyond that. It cannot think beyond that. So when you don't have a close, when your mind is not open, then you are stuck to a certain perspective and you cannot go above that. You can never rise above that. The infinite mind is an open, that infinite mind, which we realize as the mind of Christ. It is open because every day it is knowing. every moment it is ever knowing. Transformation only comes through the renewal of the mind. And the other time, I think I was talking to Sheila, and I was telling Sheila, people do not understand even the things which actually Jesus had a rough time. And for real, if he was a mystic, he taught whatever he was teaching in secret, we missed a lot. Because that action of Jesus alone, that when he washed his disciples' feet, I was telling Sheila the other time that washing of the feet, when you stand straight on the ground, what becomes under you is your feet. When you stand, what becomes under you are your feet. When Jesus was washing the disciples' feet, he was just telling them, hey, you have to clean your understanding. When you stand, what is under you are the feet. Understanding. That's why he was washing their feet. That, hey, not unless you do this, you are not with me. Not unless you clear your mind, you are not one with Jesus. No matter how much you praise him, no matter how much you worship him. So, changing the understanding, and the understanding, if you want the true understanding is the same and exact kind of understanding that which is of the mind of Christ. Let me tell you one thing, and I repeat this again and again. This is how the mind of Christ works. It perceives everything as itself. So it picks whatever thought you direct where you focus your thought energy, it's where it's not biased. When you think evil, and so you be. When you think good, and so you be. This is what happens. You know, the physical mind. Last time, when we started this broadcast, I told people that the physical mind perceives. Then, the mind of Christ, the Christ mind, which is the higher mind, or the higher mind, conceives. And this is where it conceives. It does not even talk to the physical mind, like communicating directly to the physical mind. When the physical mind, even if the physical mind, your physical mind wants to reach the divine mind, the mind of Christ, the Christ mind, even the Christ mind will tell the physical mind, pass through my lawyer. This is the lawyer of the Christ mind. It is your emotional body. The mind, Christ mind, or the higher mind only reads signatures or signals from the emotional body. What you feel. Immediately you think about something, it triggers an emotion. When you think about something in any perspective, it can bring you joy, it can bring you fear or worry. This is the physical mind. The physical mind is that which knows the good and the evil. Where was I? Someone interrupted me. Where was I? The physical, emotional body. The physical mind triggers the emotional body. The emotional body is that which communicates with the higher mind. The physical mind is that which knows the good and evil. It is the physical mind only. By the way, let me tell you one thing. Stop rebuking things you don't know. Because that foolishness of rebuking things and calling things ungodly is because of our own primitivity of physicality. It is the physical mind that knows that this is good and this is evil. The higher mind sees everything as itself. This physical mind is that tree, that which Adam was told that of all tree you shall partake, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not partake. Immediately you partake of this tree, you shall surely die. Because the physical mind deceives. The physical mind deceives. It tells you that this is godly, this is not godly. This is of God, this is of evil. And the Christ mind, or the mind of Christ, or the higher mind, sees and knows that everything is itself of itself and one by one with it. It sees everything as itself, as itself. Now, this is what happens. The physical mind, when there is an experience outside which is negative, there is something which is called the law of cause and effect. What we are experiencing outside of us are just effects. They are not causes, but still, out of free will, we are allowed to pick from the effects and make them as causes for grander effects. Whatever is presented to us outward, they are effects. This effect comes with masks. These masks painted light and darkness. But behind these masks, these experiences which we experience in our physical reality, they come in a neutral state. And that mask, those masks, which those light and darkness masks, which these realities which presents themselves to us in a neutral state, this mask which they put on, it's not them that they are putting that. It's the physical mind that has like labeled that. Because our all experience outside of us, they are presented to us at a neutral state. It's the mind that judges that this is this and that is that. This is of God, this is of negative or of evil. Forgetting that Him, the Lord God, does them all. And so these things, when they present to us, they are presented to us with the masks which are brand and put to them by our physical mind. Immediately our physical mind judged that this is not of God. It has brought separation. Immediately the mind tells you this is not of God. This situation is going to break me down. This situation is going to wreck my marriage. This situation is going to make me get sacked. Let me tell you, you trigger an emotion there and there of fear. Fear of what? Of that. And so what happens? The higher mind, the mind of Christ, this is what it does. When something is presented to the emotional body, it goes and picks. It does not know that this emotion has been brought from a negative thought. This emotion has been brought from a positive thought. It does not know that, because the higher mind knows that everything is of God, and everything is God, everything is itself. So it just takes all. And what does it do? It manifests that, it amplifies it, but it conceives. The higher mind is the one that which conceives the reality. So when you pick something negative outward, it is picked by the emotional body. The higher mind, which is not biased, is not this or that. Everything is self. It takes that and it brings to reality, into flesh, into matter. And let me tell you one thing. And it goes with the words, because you can never speak anything about anything without first perceiving it with your physical mind. If I'm holding a bottle, if I tell me something about this bottle, you're going to speak words about a bottle which I'm holding. And these words will come through you first, through the physical mind, to analyze this bottle. Then you say this shape is not good. The label should have been this and that. The way it is presented, the logo is not good. It needs to be like this and that. So anything we speak, even if you are asked, how are you? The first one that jumps ahead is the physical mind to tell you what to answer. I am okay. Not bad, not good, just there. Always, the physical mind always jumps ahead. There is that woman from a village. This woman knows all the stories of the village. This woman, where there are stories, likes to dig stories of everything, everyone, about concerning everyone. That woman is this kind of mind. It jumps on everything. Before you speak anything, it's the mind that first tells you what to speak about that. How do you see about someone brought a new car? They show you, you comment. Before you comment, you speak the word. First, the physical mind. And the reason why in meditation the physical mind is supposed to be stilled is because the physical mind itself, it is never, ever in the present moment. It is never in the present moment. Never. This is the work of your physical mind. Your physical mind thinks this, This is what your physical mind thinks. Your physical mind thinks that it is the one that does the thinking. People, my brothers and sisters, let me tell you one thing. When you tell someone, let me think about it, It's never the physical mind that does the thinking, but it is the physical mind that thinks it does the thinking. Last time I said, you do. Your physicality does the talking, but the speaking is done by that which is within you. The I. You do the looking, but that which does the seeing is that which is within. So when you can do the talking, and the talking is controlled by what? You know, talking is controlled by the physical mind. It is the one that says, this is bullshit. Brand it as bullshit. Then you say, this is bullshit. The talking is of the physical mind, but people, the speaking is of the Christ within. That's why this is what Jesus says. This is what Jesus says. This is what Christ says, that it is the Spirit that giveth life. The flesh, people, the flesh that does the talking profiteth nothing. The words that I speak, they are spirit and they are life. That which speaketh life, because the same thing. That which speaketh is the Christ. It speaketh life. That which speaketh is the Spirit that speaketh life. And let me tell you one thing. Spirit speaketh spirit, because it is said that spirit, the words which I speak are life, and the words are spirit. So spirit speaketh spirit. It speaks itself. It speaks itself. What you speak is what God is. There's nothing which God is not. Spirit speaketh itself. Whatever you speak is valid. 101%. Anything you speak is valid. Last time I told you, there is nothing which is not valid in this universe. There is nothing which is not valid. Immediately you can perceive it. It is in the consciousness. It is valid. So, spirit speaketh spirit. When you speak negative, you experience that, you create that. People do not know that that which defiles a man is not that which goes into their mouth, but that which cometh out of their mouth. That which cometh is that which defiles you. That which cometh from your mouth is that which breaks you down to your knees. The physical mind, that tree, that which Adam was clearly warned that of this tree of knowledge of good and evil, you shall never partake, because the day you partake of it, you shall surely die. This is the physical mind. It's never in the present moment. The work of the physical mind, people, the physical mind job is only to assist you in this survival. The survival mode, the survival of life, showing you this is fire, when you touch it, it's going to burn you. This is the way home. If you go this way, you're going to get lost. This is your car. This is someone else's car. This is your wife, and that one is somebody else's wife. That is the work of the physical mind. It is never in the present moment. It is not eternal. People, it does not do the thinking. This is what happens. Everything you perceive outside of you, you pick from your physical senses. Now, the first thing that picks signals from outside of you are the physical senses. And then they send the signal to the brain. That is the second part of the process. And then the brain, when the brain is processing that which has received from the sensory organs, when it is processing, that activity has already passed outside. The brain is processing, it has already passed. It is not in the present moment. The brain processes, and then after processing, it gives to the physical mind. Now your physical mind picks up from there that yes, what I have touched is fire, is hot, is cold. What I've touched is this, but it is never in the present moment. Immediately you perceive something, it has passed. People, take this very serious. Do not entertain your physical minds. They are never in the present moment. Anything you perceive, it has passed. It has passed, either you believe it or not. And I've explained it to you. How many processes it passes before the physical mind picks. Not unless you renew. Not unless we renew our minds. There's no transformation. We shall never change. We shall remain dead. When God told Adam that the day you partake of that, you shall surely die. It's not to die of like dying to be put in a casket. It means this: when you partake of that, you die spiritually because you are not one with God, because that physical mind separates God. Immediately you separate God, he ceases. People, immediately you separate God, he ceases to be God. This one does not need your belief. It works as intended. Either you believe it or not. That's the way it is. That is how you die. Because the physical mind is going to tell you that this is not godly. This is not of God. This person is not godly. You judge. By the way, it's the physical mind that judges. It is the physical mind that judges everything. And it's the physical mind that brings us a lot of problems, because by the same measure we judge, we get judged. The same measure, we get judged. When you judge something, I said last time, when you judge something, you have separated from it. You don't want any stories about it. So when you judge something, you have separated from it. One thing I say again, the reason why demons have dominion and they have power. This one we have to agree. Over humanity, it is because they never, these two words, they never, in capital letters underlined, they never separate or deny anything that is not godly. People, what we call as part of darkness, they believe in God. and they know grander truths. These beings, what we call as demons or evil spirits or evil negative entities, they are advanced spiritually. They know they know that you can never possess anything without first claiming it. So this is what they do. They claim humanity, that we are one with humanity. There's no separation. We of darkness and them of light, we are one with them because we come from our Father, one God. We are one with them. Immediately they claim that they have possessed you. But first, they don't possess you. They possess you in another way. This is how they get to possess you. You of light, you deny them. You separate from them. You put separation with them. You deny them. And whatever you deny, you have thrown into the hole of darkness. If it has claimed you, remember, you deny that, separate with that. You put it into the hole of darkness. Remember, it has not denied you back. It is claiming that it is one with you. Therefore, in that hole of darkness where you put it, it pulls you there. How does it pull you there? It possesses you. When you hear of possession, this is what possession is. You have been pulled into the hole of darkness by that which has claimed oneness with you. That which has claimed oneness with the all. Negative entities, they claim oneness with the all. People, don't think, my friend. The reason why these books, and let me tell you one thing. I value these religious books very much. That's why I will always, most of the times, even give references from verses in them and readings from them. Because these books, they have grander truths. But these books have been infiltrated and they have been pested with a lot of lies. When they tell you to resist the devil, when they tell you to resist the devil, you don't resist that which is one with you. You resist that which you separate and deny. You resist that one which you don't want even to come near you. The reason why what you resist persists because everything is God and of God. And many things, even the situations themselves, any kind of situations, they are conscious by themselves. They are very, very conscious by themselves. So they never deny you. They know they are one with you. Then what happens? You resist, they persist because they own you, they possess you. Immediately you deny something and it claims you. You are finished. You are inside the box. Corner to corner. Let me tell you one thing. And this is what has been used, separation. This is the work of the physical mind. It triggers those emotions. And many people do not, there are things which we do not even understand, or we do not know, or it is through ignorance that the physical mind is the one that has brought everything, like even the diseases. The diseases which many people, like 95% of sicknesses, 95% of the sicknesses, they are not caused by anything. They are caused by the state of mind. That which you are carrying around. My family has a lineage of high blood pressure, so everyone in our lineage has got to get blood pressure. Your mind has already made a decision. Your mind, 95% of the diseases, they are created by our minds. Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing which people do not know. Nothing can harm you in this universe. Let me tell you, you can even drink rat poison and it will never harm you. Nothing can harm you until you judge it to be that. Nothing can harm you. There is this old man. I'll get this video and share to you. This old man, there is a village, it is in Europe, that village with old men and with old men. These men are people there have ages, men and women. You go there, you find people who are 110, 102 years old people, and they were being asked. And this is what they did. These guys, there is one behavior or routine which they had, which is very crazy. These guys, that village is a village, I think it's in Slovenia or somewhere. It's a village of chain smokers. These people, it has people who have smoked for 80 years. Someone tells you, I've smoked for 80 years and I'm still smoking. And these people are alive up to 110 years, 102. And they were being asked, what is the secret behind that? And they said they're just happy. What did they say? They said they're happy. Yeah, they said they were happy and they wake up in the morning and be grateful to God for everything. For everything, people. For everything. These guys, they smoke and they drink alcohol. It is a whole documentary I will share in the group. There's an old man there who smokes 10 packets a day. It is very crazy. 10 packets a day. He smokes 10 packets a day. People, everything is just but the state of mind. Collective mind and that individual mind. You can always override the collective, because if the collective don't want to experience the God which you want to experience, you can tune your mind to experience that which is outside the box of the collective mind. So it's the mind that brings all the problems, and the mind immediately it identifies a negative thing outside, which is an effect which came from a previous cause, which the cause was still that mind. It takes that effect and it feeds it to the emotional body, and then now it is bigger. The Christ mind picks it and it brings it into, it conceives that. Now that effect, you take it inside, make it a grander cause for yet another grander effect. And then that grander effect, when it comes, it breaks you down. Then you take it again. You take it now as a cause for yet grander. It goes like that. That's why if someone is not careful, there's a some situation will always be, if something is going crazy, it will go crazier, 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 and crazier, because every moment it is unfolding, you are taking the effects outside and making them causes. Every effect has got a cause, and every cause has got an effect. People should know this. From the emotional body, and this is when you are told that when you partake of this tree, you shall surely die. It's because this tree does not see everything as of God. It brings separation. When you perceive or you partake of this, you create a lot of negative emotional energies within you, because of the people you have given judgment outside. They are family members. They are negative. Yes, they are negative. But what is our work as light workers? What are we here to do? Are we here to seek temples of light and dwell within them? No. My friend, our work is not going to temples, churches, and mosques to hide ourselves there and pray and fast and have group meetings together and just getting the presence of God together. And because other people are negative, you don't want to connect with them. When you pretend you are spiritual, you don't want to mingle with other people because you say they are of low vibrations, they are negative, they are this and that. Then you say, you give them a negative judgment. This, my family member is this and that, they are negative. You have unforgiveness within you. You pile a lot of bullshit inside of you, negative emotional energies inside of you, and this is what happens. They feel when your heart becomes full, when your heart becomes full of the negative emotions. Let me tell you, the heart has got a valve somewhere on top there. It is an outlet valve. It's called an overflow valve, the same one as overtank. When it is full inside, they overflow. When these negative emotional energies, they overflow. This is how they overflow. They overflow by manifesting into diseases. Negative emotional energies, negative emotions within us. When we harbor a lot of them, when they overflow by manifesting into diseases. All sicknesses, the word all underline and put in capital letters. All sicknesses that are not infected from outside. All sicknesses that are not infected or caused by anything outward from outside. They are caused, the cause is the overflow of the negative emotional energies. High blood pressure, blood sugar, ulcers, some forms of cancers. In fact, 65% of cancers. All these, they are caused by negative emotional energies. Losing of eyesight. When you see you are losing eyesight, when you lose eyesight, let me tell you, the reason why you are losing eyesight, when you see you are losing eyesight, you have to know that you have to work on the aspect of fears. All forms of fear, even the smallest ones. My friend, let me tell you, I used to wear spectacles before. But that day when I came to realize that because after some time they tell you, the opticians send you a message that your lenses have to be checked. When you go there, they tell you that your lenses have lost power. Let me tell you, they have not lost power. Lenses do not lose power. It is your eyes that have deteriorated. Your eyes have become worse. Now you'll need another big number, another number which is above that which you are using. When you use that, your eyes continue to scramble. Then when you go, they give you another stronger one. You become blinder, 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 and blinder. Lenses do not lose power. So when you have that aspect of when you have sight problem, it is aspects of fear. Now, high blood pressure is unforgiveness, anger, and diabetes. It is unforgiveness, anger, and resentment. This is what emotions does. Your emotional body, we create through our emotions. Number one, if you have a negative emotions because of your physical mind, you have partaken of the tree of knowing good and evil, you are going to die, because the physical mind triggers the emotional body. Then those negative emotions rise up. You harbor them. You walk with unforgiveness. They overflow. Anyone. This is what happens. Anyone who has high blood pressure or diabetes, tell them to let go. Start letting go and see what happens. And see what happens. Someone came to me that he wants healing for high blood pressure. And this is what I told them. Listen, I don't want to cheat you. I'll be lying to you if I pray to you. I can pray to you to just share with you the love and light so that you get the strength to start emptying the garbage that is within you. But I cannot pray for your healing of your high blood pressure. Some healings, and humanity is very dumb. You will go to churches, pastors will be praying for people with high blood pressures, thinking that these diseases can be cured. Some things need people to work upon themselves. Most of the things, 100% of the things, it needs people to get busy working upon themselves, becoming new every day, being born again every present moment, seeing everything as new at each and present moment, becoming new at each and present moment. This is what he says, behold, I make all things new. This is what God says. Behold, I make all things new. People, it takes a God to identify a God. It takes a God. That's why many people do not know what God is. When you ask them what is God, they'll tell you it is written here, it is written there. Something which you are one with. You want to seek references outside of a book. Something which you are part of, that which is your pure essence. You want to seek reference from a book. It takes a God to identify a God. Before knowing God, first you have to identify a God. It takes a thief to identify a thief. before saying you know God, first you must identify God. And no one can identify God, because unless they become God, because it takes a God to identify a God. And to become a God, one must practice being God, because no one becomes that until they practice that, then they become that. Because even in driving, you have to do driving practices. That driving school which you are going to do, that is practicing driving, and then you become the driver. So you have to practice being God. And how do you practice? You act, because that act of you driving a car is where you learn driving. That you are acting, practicing, you are acting, which is the same time as practicing, and then you become a driver. Then therefore you have to act. You have to act like a God. You have to practice of God, like God. Then now you upgrade to identify a God. And this is what God is. This is what God is. Number one. This is what God is. Number one. God sees everything as itself. God sees everything as God. This is number one thing. Number two thing, behold, I make all things new. Every moment you have to be born again. This is how you get born again. You do not get born again by confessing that Jesus is Lord and Savior. You get born again by seeing everything as new. Everything as new at each and present moment. Like you have been born today, and that phone, you are seeing it for the first time. That is how people get born again. Every moment you see everything as new. Bishop said something, like the matter is being held by like something like observation. It's like an observation of God, that which you observe. When you bring your observation to something, you are doing creation. So number two thing of acting like a God is seeing everything as God. Is making all things new, all things, everything, like in the every present moment. This is what every present moment means. Every present moment is the now moment, like that moment, because it is there. It is not in the future, it's not in the past, it is there. Every present moment, you have to see everything as new. Your spouse, you have to see them as new, like it's the first time you're falling in love with them. Your kids, like you're seeing them as new. Your relatives, seeing them as everyone, you see them as new. This is what God is. And then guess what happens? You no longer need to hate anyone, because to you everything is new every moment. There's nothing which gives you a reason to hate something, because you are meeting everything for the first time. You do not know. You do not have judgment on that. I'm meeting this situation for the first time. no matter how it is. You see everything as new without identity. That is how you get born again and things become new. You no longer need to forgive, because whom do you have to forgive? And everyone you are meeting them for the first time. Why do you have to walk with fear and everything you are meeting is new? You are seeing everything for the first time. You don't know if they bite or they sting. You see, this is, people should wake up. Today I was telling Sheila that we have a long way to go. And yet again, every soul is at the right place at the right time. Because there are souls which are meant to be. There are souls which are meant to repeat plus. I was telling Sheila that we crossed the marker in 2012 when they said, when they were looking at the Mayans prophecies and they read they interpreted them wrongly and they said the world was going to end in 2012. I was telling Sheila, we were just crossing the mark. The cycle. And some other time back there, I was telling Sheila, timelines have already been drawn. The split has already occurred. People are blind. Why are they blind? Because they can only look, but they can't see. When Jesus says they have eyes but do not see, it's because they look. They are getting busy looking, but they're not seeing, doing the same. The split has occurred. The separation has already occurred. This is the grander thing which many people do not know. It has occurred. You cannot save anyone, even your beloved ones, even your spouses. You cannot save anyone. Every soul has chosen their sides in the split. Those who are remaining behind, they are many, 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 many. Those who are going to the negative fourth density, stroke fifth density, negative, there are a lot. Those who are going to the fourth stroke fifth density, positive, they are very, very few. They are very, very few. Many are called, few are chosen. Many are called is because everyone is being called. Few are chosen because the choice is given to you to choose yourself. Stand on the side of the chooser. You are one with that. Therefore, stand on the side of the one who does the choosing and see yourself on the other side and choose. Many are called, few are chosen. And everyone gets to choose themselves. Everyone. It's not an easy journey. This journey is not easy. It is not easy. There's a lot of things going on. A lot of things. A lot of things going on. And what is humanity doing? The more people are waking up, the more you The reason why we are seeing many people many people are in slumber, the reason why we are seeing a lot of things that we are calling negative, let me tell you one thing. This thing existed. There is nothing new in this planet. There is nothing new under the sun. These things existed. They existed. The reasons why we were not experiencing or seeing them is because ourselves we were in the dark age. Do you think you will see a thief who is walking at night wearing a black robe? You won't see. The reason why you are seeing everything, all crazy things going on, is because of the presence of light, because of the split. Light is too much and it is exposing darkness. And darkness will hold, fight back, struggle, kick, and the kicks are going to be felt big time. When I tell people, the other day I was talking to Bishop, I was telling my brother Bishop, these are the times of calmness. People should get busy going deep within, working upon themselves, relieving that which does not serve their magnificence, and rising up in consciousness. These times of calmness, because darkness is falling. But let me tell you, even if the horse is dying, the kicks of the dying horse shall be felt big time. Yes, the horse is dying, but the kicks of the dying horse shall be felt big time. That moment when this moment when there is calmness, we never take time to practice going deep within. To make it a routine, going deep within, we are stuck to the physicality outside. When turmoils come, people, they will overwhelm us, will get stuck to that which is happening outside. This moment of calmness, we are stuck to the external. That moment of turmoil, they will overwhelm us and we'll be focusing on fear, stuck on the outside. That is when we shall be seeking God, and God will be like nowhere to be found. And it will be like God has vacated this universe, like he no longer exists. That is what that is what happens. That is what will happen. People will seek for God, and God will be nowhere to be found. Like God is dead, but he will not be dead. It's because these times when it is calm, you didn't create that. Now it's calm instead of putting poles and putting your telecommunication wires, so that you are in contact with the one you are waiting. When there are chaos and turmoils outside and you're starting digging holes, will you get time to dig the holes to put the poles? And yes, you can get time to dig the holes for the poles for the telecommunication line. But with those turmoils, will you be able to start fixing the wires and again start establishing that communication or contact? So this is what happens. And now I will take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Sheila. She has something to say. Trust me on this. It is not by accident that I picked her. Sheila. 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 Carol. While we are waiting for Sheila, Carol, give us a comment. You know, Carol, you are always somewhere there behind the scenes, but when you speak, now you speak all the analysis because everything you have analyzed and you give us some wisdom out of it. Carol. Carol. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm just you can imagine my surprise when you're saying that you used to wear glasses and now you don't. So maybe you'd need to share a little bit on how you overcame that one, because that is where I'm at. And of late, I've been feeling like I need to go and have my glasses rechecked or get a new prescription. But I've said I'm also not going that way because I only know it will only get worse. So for a true that we need to connect now, we need to go deeper now, because this is the best time to do that. Yeah. It's just that man has been conditioned to believe like we have a lot of time in our hands, yet that is not the case. So for me, I get that there is a sense of urgency in connecting, as you have said, with God now, while it is still while there's still time, while there's still peace to get into a relationship such that the quality of that relationship will answer for us in times of trouble. So yes, it is amazing. And for a fact, when you're talking of hypertension and issues of of acidity, it's all because we are harboring anger and we are harboring hatred towards people. So once we resolve that, then the pressure that the body automatically picks from those negative emotions will help your body treat its own self. So these things are very correlated. And I remember once that Sheila, in a conversation some time back ago, and she was sharing on the different parts also inform you on the areas that you need to look at. They are all correlated to your emotions and to what you need to be doing specifically at that particular time. And I remember her saying that now for matters concerning eyesight, that if your eyes are bad, then there is an element of not being able to see in the spiritual that is lacking. So all you have to do is work on your spirituality and your eyes will automatically see. So if you can't see in the physical, but even in the spiritual, you're as blind as you are in the physical. So it's very profound how these things are interrelating. So the sooner that we learn how to tap into that which is given in us, to tap into that which is within us already, the sooner we will be able to do the greater that was promised in the Bible, that greater shall we do. But it only means we have to come to the point of being willing to pay the cost. Well, now that is the other challenge that as human beings, we just want it instant. We want it that you go and pray for me and then me I'll receive. We don't want to pay the price. We want to move at the realms that we want to move, but we don't want to put in the work that is needed to move in the same realms. So, yeah, as you say, we have to work within ourselves. We have to work within to grow in the areas that we desire to see. So that is my take in that one. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Sister Carol. Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you what I want to tell you. You know what I always share with people. For me, I like sharing experiences. I don't want things that because they are written somewhere that be written and be read there and be known there. To know something better is to experience. Reading something you have not known anything, but to experience that is to know.